All right. On November 3rd of 2015, a man by the name of Joshua Adam Gilpatrick died in a parked car in the city of Atlanta. The culprit? A deadly dose of heroin. He would have turned 35 the next day. Mr. Gilpatrick did not meet the often untrue stereotype of the heroin addict. He was a local business owner. He was known for being funny, kind, smart, and very intelligent. He was the kind of guy that would literally give away the shoes he was wearing, expecting nothing in return. That night, my friend, who was also a son, a brother, and an uncle, became a statistic. The next day, the Drug Enforcement Agency announced that drug overdose deaths are the leading cause of injury death in the United States, ahead of motor vehicle deaths and firearms. Take a minute to think about that. We are now living in a country where more people are dying from drug overdoses than car accidents. This means the United States is in the midst of the worst drug epidemic it has ever seen, with overdose deaths hitting record numbers and continuing to climb. This crisis began with a dramatic increase of written prescriptions from doctors and for prescription painkillers, and then a shift from people abusing those to abusing heroin. As early as the early 1990s, there was a type of phobia in the doctor's offices, where these doctors were actually very, very wary of prescribing opioid medications for good reason. They were afraid of abuse potential and side effects. These attitudes started to shift as major drug companies went on pro-painkiller campaigns. According to an article published by the Washington Post on October 16th of 2016, written by Ariana Chan, the number of prescriptions written in America for opioid pain medications increased from 112 million in 1992 to a whopping 249 million in 2015. These numbers have contributed, no doubt, to an increase of opioid medications, but also an increase of early mortality rates, especially in white women. Again, further breaking stereotypes of what the typical drug addict is like. It's no secret that these medications are major money makers. The same Washington Post article states that the submarkets of addiction, meaning overdoses and side effects, is worth at least $1 billion in sales in the United States. Alongside these submarkets, opioid sales themselves in 2015 reached a startling $9.57 billion. This is a major money machine. To quote the article, these economics experts say work against efforts to end the epidemic. The consequences of these types of increases in the use of opioid medications are not isolated and have led to an overall increase of heroin abuse. Heroin abuse has skyrocketed, mostly in part of a high street value for said prescription opioids and a cheaper alternative of heroin. Forbes posted an article on December 7th of 2015 with contributor CJ Arlotta stating that 75% of high school heroin users started with prescription opioids. While this is a very startling number, it's understandable. For many users, the transition from prescription opioids to heroin is very natural. Not only is heroin in the same class of medication as prescriptions, but it is often stronger and cheaper than most of these prescriptions are. As quoted from the October 16th Washington Post article, the CDC said that 47,055 people died from drug overdoses in 2014. Overdose fatalities from heroin alone have more than tripled since 2010. This is in part, of course, because of the increase of abuse of the drug, but also the increase in potency of the drug. Things like fentanyl, which is 100 times more powerful than morphine, and even carfentanil, which is 10,000 times more powerful than morphine, is being mixed with heroin, creating a very deadly combination. The increase of abuse death rates is not slowing down. The crisis in the U.S. has reached record proportions, starting again with more opioids being prescribed by doctors, and then a shift of people abusing those opioids to heroin. These drugs come at a terrible price. Losing lives, preventable problems. We are losing husbands, wives, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, and our best friends. Awareness is increasing, but it will take more than knowledge to fix this problem. It will take combined efforts on both community and federal levels. It will take support of those who are suffering with addictions and knowledge of doctors before writing said prescriptions. But together, I believe things can change.